Welcome to my views and news. This news bulletin includes news stories from Ethiopia, Eritrea and Sudan. Firstly, Gojam, where we know that security forces have been conducting operations against Fano fighters. Since last night, clashes are being reported. Clashes have been ongoing in a town in West Gajam. Roads partially closed, sounds of gunfire being heard in neighboring areas too. Secondly, OLA, Oromo Liberation Army fighters have carried out another attack in East Shewa yesterday. They have carried out two attacks in East Shewa after the conclusion of first round of talks around a month ago. East Shewa is not their traditional stronghold, but their attacks in East Shewa are increasing. Thirdly, viewers, Eritrea has rejoined IGAD. Today, Eritrea formally rejoined IGAD. It was 2007 when Eritrea boycotted IGAD. And today Usman Saleh is in Djibouti reportedly to attend IGAD meeting, and Asmara marathon was concluded in Eritrea yesterday. And lastly, we're Sudan. I have details for you on a map about what happened yesterday when ceasefire came to an end at 6 a.m. local time on Sunday. After that, clashes broke out. Who gained? Who launched offensives? Who were on the offensive? Who was on the offensive? Who was on defensive? We have details for you on a map. It seems that Sudanese military tried to change gears immediately after ceasefire came to an end. It tried to attack at least three different locations. Coordinated attack. What happened? Did RSF manage to repel these attacks? Details for you on a map. Firstly, viewers, Gojam, Amhara region, where Ethiopian security forces claimed a few days ago that they had killed more than 200 Fano fighters. Back then, security forces had surrounded a monastery in East Gojam, Debre Elias, East Gojam. Monastery, Trinity Unity Monastery, was surrounded by security forces. Fano fighters were there reportedly. The siege went on for 4 to 5 days, and in that incident, government claimed to have killed 200 Fano fighters. Government claimed that Skandar Naga, a new leader of Gojam Fano, Amhara Popular Front leader, was also at Debre Elias monastery, but he managed to escape. When Fano fighters escaped from Debre Elias, which is in East Gojam, they fled towards West Gojam. In West Gojam, there is Dembecha. And from East Gojam, they entered West Gojam. And then we saw some reports that another monastery had been surrounded by security forces in West Gojam. That monastery is in Dembecha. And several sources confirm that Fano fighters were there at the monastery. Fano fighters deny the use of monasteries. They say they're not using monasteries as their hideouts. But government says, government-backed news sources, local, they say Fano fighters are using some monasteries as their basis. It does not mean that all monasteries are being used by Fano fighters. It does not mean that Orthodox priests, all of them are supporting Fano fighters. It would be unfair to say that. It could jeopardize the lives of innocent Orthodox priests too. From Debre Elias, Fano fighters entered Dembecha and they tried to organize themselves in Dembecha. So what happened? We have been seeing reports for the past 1 week or so that Fano fighters were trying to organize themselves in Dembecha. Security forces were chasing them, and after Debre Elias, they entered Dembecha, and heavy clashes started in Dembecha yesterday. There was exchange of gunfire yesterday, last night, as well. Locals confirmed, even people living several kilometers away from the town center, they reported that sounds of gunfire were being heard. For hours, these clashes went on. It's difficult to say what is happening there, but we are seeing calls from Amhara Fano supporters asking people to block main roads in Dembecha and from Debre Elias to Dembecha. We saw similar calls when Debre Elias monastery was surrounded, that Fano supporters asked people to block roads from Addis Ababa to Amhara, Oromia to Amhara region. Roads could not be closed. ENDF managed to clear monastery, and Fano fighters were killed, some Orthodox followers too. Now, second confrontation in Debre Elias, that was the biggest collision, biggest face-off between Fano fighters and Ethiopian army. Now, the second major confrontation seems to be happening in Dembecha these minutes. Again, since no media is allowed there, networks, mobile networks suspended in some areas, internet services suspended too. So, it's difficult to get complete picture from Dembecha. But obviously, nature of operation is the same, that security forces, they want to clear the area. They want to capture Skandar Naga and his supporters. Skandar Naga is now leading thousands of Fano fighters based in Gajam, East Gajam, West Gajam, and from East West Gajam, from West Gajam especially, these fighters can enter Velaga too, and from there they can go towards Ago-Avi zone where Agos live, and already there have been some tension between Agos and Amharas, and then Sudan is also accessible from Ago-Avi zone. So this entire zone is being used by Fano fighters as a staging ground, as their base. Zameen Ekasi was released by the government. He is from Gajam. He was released around a week ago. Since his release, he has been silent. We have not heard from him so far. We just delivered a speech. He was seen in Miravi, his hometown. Security forces were seen there too. Some said that security forces wanted to arrest him. I did not see any message, any speech after his initial speech. So he is silent while Skandar is fighting. We cannot deny whether you agree with Skandar or not. He is fighting. And if you remember, when he said goodbye to politics last year, he was heading Baldera's party. He founded Baldera's party. He then resigned. If you remember, back then I said that Skandar is the type of man who wouldn't sit idle. He must be up to something. That is how he is. And that is what later came out to be. That he abandoned politics, he came to Gojam, and he organized Fano fighters. Now he is fighting on front lines. Ethiopian military confirmed that Skandar was in Debre Elias, where military surrounded Debre Elias monastery. He survived, he escaped. Rumors being spread that he was killed, but we have no confirmation. So whether you agree with his ideology, with his mode of struggle or not, but he is there. He is leading Fano fighters from the front. We'll try to update you more in coming hours about what is happening in Dembecha. So far, reportedly, roads in Dembecha closed. Closed by security forces too, because if they are trying to conduct an operation, they would like the area to be cordoned off. So roads closed inside Dembecha, but are Amhara people trying to close roads to encircle Dembecha? No, I could not find any information. Though calls are being made, asking people surrounding Dembecha to block all roads, to block supplies to ENDF, but so far no closure seen on the ground. Secondly, viewers, OLA, Oromo Liberation Army, has carried out another attack in East Shewa. East Shewa is not OLA's stronghold, but it seems that now OLA fighters can carry out attacks in East Shewa. They carried out an attack in Adami Tolo, East Shewa, a few days ago. The attack was on a police station. Reportedly, some prisoners were released. Before that, they attacked Bishoftu, not far away from Ethiopian capital, and some prisoners were released there too. Prisoners were reportedly members of OLA. Before that, they attacked Horogodoro. Again, prisoners were released and they attacked a sugar factory too. Some were killed too, some were abducted from sugar factory. Now, another attack by OLA fighters in East Shewa. It happened in Bato. Bato is a town also called Zivai. Zivai or Bato in East Shewa is the town where there was exchange of gunfire between police and OLA fighters yesterday. Some police officials have been injured. Was the attack on a police station? Because the pattern we are seeing after the conclusion of first round of talks is that OLA is attacking those prisons, those police stations where OLA members are being imprisoned. The OLA members are being kept and OLA members are being released. I could not get details about the target of attack by OLA in Bato, but keeping in with the pattern, it seemed that target was the release of OLA members from police custody. We'll have to wait to find more details. By the way, just yesterday, Lagasse Tolo, Ethiopian communication minister, said that talks would continue with OLA. They met in Tanzania. First round of talks was held there almost a month ago. Since then, silence. Though OLA issued some statement saying that government was launching new military operations. It was trying to get battlefield leverage before the start of second round of talks. Government kept quiet mostly, but government said it was committed to the start of second round of talks. The second round of talks could start, but on the ground, fighting ongoing in some areas. OLA is expanding its influence too. It's not just restricting itself to Western Oromia, Valaga, which is its traditional stronghold. It is hitting government forces in Central Oromia, in Eastern Oromia, in Southern Oromia as well. We have seen attacks in Southern Oromia as well by OLA fighters. So overall situation is volatile, but only good thing is that government is committed to the start of second round of talks. OLA is committed as well. The clashes will continue. Why? Because the two sides could not reach a ceasefire. When they met in Zanzibar, Tanzania, they did not announce any ceasefire. They just said that talks would continue, that the two sides would continue this engagement of discussions. It means they did not agree on ceasefire. Back then, if you remember, Ethiopian government wanted OLA to announce ceasefire. OLA refused. OLA said that ceasefire can be announced after some understandings have been reached. No understandings reached so far. Just the two sides met and they exchanged their ideas, they departed, and now second round of talks could start in coming weeks, though no schedule announced so far by the two sides. Thirdly, viewers, Eritrea. Two news stories from Eritrea. Very important news stories about Eritrea rejoining IGAD. Intergovernmental Authority on Development is an East African bloc with 8 member countries: Ethiopia, Eritrea, Djibouti, Kenya, Sudan, South Sudan, Uganda and Somalia were 8 member countries of IGAD. But in 2007, Eritrea unilaterally withdrew from IGAD. IGAD member countries can suspend their memberships on their own. Why did Eritrea withdraw from IGAD? Back then, Eritrea opposed IGAD's intervention in Somalia. Eritrea accused IGAD member countries that they were backed by the US, and intervention in Somalia was backed by US, and Eritrea opposed any military intervention in Somalia. Eritrea boycotted IGAD, and since then Eritrea was not part of IGAD. But after the two sides, Ethiopian government and TPLF, signed a peace deal in November last year, we saw that Eritrea showed its interest in rejoining IGAD. Isaias Afwerki, Eritrean president, visited Kenya, I think in February, and there in a joint press briefing with William Ruto, Kenyan president, he expressed his intention to rejoin IGAD. William Ruto also invited Isaias Afwerki to rejoin IGAD. Now Eritrea is back, viewers. Today IGAD is holding a meeting in Djibouti. IGAD is based in Djibouti. IGAD's headquarters in Djibouti, just like African headquarters is in Addis Ababa. IGAD headquarters is in Djibouti. IGAD is holding a very key meeting today on Sudan war. Heads of states are arriving in Djibouti. We'll try to update in coming videos about this key meeting. Salva Kiir has arrived in Djibouti. From Eritrea, Usman Saleh has arrived in Djibouti. He was welcomed by Dr. Verkane, IGAD Secretary General. Other top leaders of IGAD countries are also arriving in Djibouti. So now Eritrea has officially rejoined IGAD. It's a very healthy development, by the way. These regional platforms for conflict resolution should be strengthened. Eritrea opposes Western American interference in African countries. But that interference can only be averted if there are some conflict resolution mechanisms in this area. Effective conflict resolution mechanism. African Union, effective, but African Union has lots of responsibilities. IGAD can play a role too. IGAD has been trying to play a role in the resolution of Sudan war, though we saw that it could not come up with any tangible progress. But today a meeting is being held in Djibouti. I think the joining of IGAD by Eritrea would lead to some changes. Eritrea would like IGAD to be free from US influence. Can Eritrea manage to keep IGAD free from US influence? We'll see in coming days and weeks. But overall, good development. A quick update for you. Yesterday, Asmara marathon was held. Athletes from Ethiopia, Eritrea, Uganda, Tanzania, Kenya attended this marathon. Men, women categories. Man category marathon was won by Nahome, who is Nahome Irmias, an Eritrean athlete. Ugandan athlete finished at number 2. At number 3 was an Eritrean athlete as well. Ethiopian athletes were there too. Men, women from Ethiopia attended this Asmara marathon held in Asmara. Lastly, we are Sudan, where a ceasefire, 24-hour ceasefire, came to an end on Sunday morning, 6 a.m. What happened after that? After that, heavy clashes erupted. Sudanese military was fully prepared to change gears. It launched several new offensives. What happened? Did it manage to capture new territories? We have complete details for you on a map of the last 24 hours. Have a look at this map. Let me brief you in detail about the 4 fronts where there was heavy fighting between Rapid Support Forces and Sudanese military immediately after ceasefire came to an end on 6 a.m. Sunday morning. I reported about fighting for the complete control of a bridge yesterday. You can see the bridge here. This is the bridge. Halfayal Maluk Bridge over River Nile. It links Bahri, northern Khartoum with Rahman. Bridge control was split. Eastern part has been under RSF control for several days. Western part under the control of Sudanese military since the start of this war, you can say, because eastern part came under RSF control around 2 weeks ago. Reportedly, most sources say RSF members, they tried to move along the bridge towards the western part and then clashes erupted. Sudanese military has released a video showing people cheering Sudanese military. The video is somewhere from here. The video does not show that the military has taken back eastern part of the bridge. But some other sources claim that Sudanese military repelled RSF's attack on western part of the bridge and then it crossed and retook eastern part of the bridge. And some go to the extent of claiming that Sudanese military took eastern part of the bridge and then advanced towards Halfay al-Maluk, al-Droshab and al-Samrab. They claim these neighborhoods, al-Samrab, Droshab and Halfay al-Maluk, are under full control of Sudanese military. We're waiting for visual confirmation though. Is Sudanese military in full control of Halfay al-Maluk, al-Samrab, al-Droshab and Al-Qadro? It remains to be verified, but there was heavy fighting for the control of this bridge yesterday. First front. Second front is Kafori, viewers. Let me show you Kafori first. Then this is Kafori, viewers. Here. Kafori was attacked, this neighborhood, Kafori, it was attacked from eastern side, from Hajj al-Yusuf. Hajj al-Yusuf, this area. From here, Sudanese military tried to reach Kafori from eastern side and from western side too, because Kobar is under Sudanese army control, and from Kobar side too, they tried to capture Kafori. What happened? Here, it seems that Sudanese military suffered a setback because some videos are being shared showing several destroyed, damaged vehicles of Sudanese military. It seems Sudanese military was ambushed by Rapid Support Force members. The video geolocated is somewhere between Hajj al-Yusuf and Kafori. So, Sudanese military could not take Kafori yesterday. It launched offensive on Kafori from two directions. Kafori still under the control of Rapid Support Forces. Thirdly, a key bridge was attacked by Sudanese military yesterday, and that is Al-Manshia bridge. Very strategic over River Nile. It links East Nile with Khartoum, and we have seen several attempts in the past by Sudanese military to retake Al-Manshia. It could not. Again, an attempt yesterday by Sudanese military to retake Al-Manshia, but the attempt did not succeed. Again, RSF repelled Sudanese army's attack on Al-Manshia. Fourthly, armored corps. We know that for days, Sudanese military is beefing up its defensives, its defensive deployment on armored corps, which is somewhere, it is somewhere here to the south and east of Best Care Hospital. Armored corps still under Sudanese army, but Sudanese army yesterday tried to take areas to the north of the armored corps. And reportedly, this hospital has come under Sudanese army control. Hospital and surrounding areas are under Sudanese army control. Al-Shajra is split. There is presence of both Rapid Support Force members and Sudanese military in Al-Shajra. So, to some extent, we can say Sudan military secured control of areas to the north of armored corps near Best Care Hospital. The military is trying to move towards Al-Ramla now. Al-Ramla, this area here, it looks like a roundabout here. Here, Sudanese military has made some gains in terms of securing areas to the north of armored corps around Best Care Hospital. So overall, we can say that Sudanese military changed gears yesterday. It adopted more offensive than defensive approach yesterday. It took control of some areas close to armored corps, close to Halfa el Maluk bridge. Though no significant gain for Sudanese military, because their gains around Halfa el Maluk, Al Daroshab, and and other neighborhood control is being verified. If they have taken entire Halfa el Maluk bridge, obviously it's a big development, because it means that they have retaken what they lost around 2 to 3 weeks ago. Overall, we could see, I think, intensified fighting now, because Sudanese military is changing gears, it seems. Thank you for watching.